Shalam. Brothers united in Christ, back and more of this word is the Bible, the Holy Scriptures. Brother, step down. Beautiful lesson. You know, we're just going to keep it going. We try to push wisdom and understanding and knowledge coming out of the Bible. You know, we preach along with verses, man, because we don't want to come out with opinions or our own ideas, our own thoughts that's contrary to what the Bible says. So we bring out Bible verses. We come out with a line upon line. And the line upon line today is still 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. We're going to start at verse 18. We still talk about glory. Before you pull that real quick, pull this Psalms 126, also Ecclesiasticus 34 and 1. Brother, I said something about dreams. I just want to tap into it a little bit. You know, everybody have dreams. Some people call them nightmares or whatever. I don't know when was the last time that I could remember a dream that I had. But I want to bring out a dream in the Bible. Pull this real quick, 126, Psalms.
It says Psalms. Keep talking.
So this brother, I think David wrote the psalm. Beautiful psalmist. King David was a righteous man, and he put together these psalms and everything. These are also prayers and songs. This Psalms 126. Read it.
Psalms chapter 126, verse 1. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream.
We were like them that dream, huh? That's one of the hot psalms. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put this together. But you know what I mean? The whole point is when the Lord turned back the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dreamed. Read the next verse.
When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dreamed. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing.
You know what I mean? But right now, Israel's suffering. He got anguish in the mouth. We grieved. We grieved in spirit. You know what I mean? We jacked up in the earth. We're on the green. We're in, in captive lambs and everything. We ain't doing that much laughing. Matter of fact, we laughing for the wrong reasons. The Lord, I said, rejoice not, Israel, as other people for joy. You know what I mean? We don't joy just like how these Gentiles and the heathen joy and everything according to wickedness. We supposed to joy according to the Lord. The joy of the Lord is your strength, as what the scripture says. But we were like them, you know what I mean, when the Lord turned again the captivity, because the Lord going to turn again the captivity of Zion. That's talking about the Israelites, the children of Israel, being the 12 tribes of Israel, who they call today your African Americans, your Puerto Ricans, your Mexicans, and if you're a Negro of the diaspora, you know, of Central and South America and everything, the Lord said, you're in captivity. You are Zion. You are the children of Zion. The Lord has said, when, you know, he is going to return you back to your homeland, because this isn't our homeland. America is not our home. Yeah, this is a dream. It's been, you know what I mean, we've been here for a very long time and everything. It seemed like, you know what I mean, when we hear stuff like that, man, it seemed like a dream. But it's going to happen. Right? You know what I mean? It ain't no dream. Read it. This going to happen.
When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dreamed. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen.
Then said they among the heathen. I mean, the Gentiles got a lot to say, but when they start saying this, read it what?
Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad.
We glad. You go to Psalms, go to Ecclesiasticus 34 and 1. You know what I mean? Because this brother is trying to break down the dream. I like the psalm and everything. You know what I mean? It's like storytelling. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dreamed. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue filled with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord have done great things for them. The Lord have done great things for us, where we are glad. That this is, you know what I mean? But as we talking about dream, I just want to bring out this verse right here. Read it.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools.
Dreams lift up fools. If you don't got the dream, you know what I mean? The right dream, if the Lord didn't visit you in your dream, like how he spoke to Solomon in his dream, like how he talked to Joseph in his dream, like he talked to, you know what I mean, several brothers in the dream, then don't regard them. Daniel, you know what I mean? Right, exactly. Daniel, you know what I mean? These brothers, you know what I mean, had some dreams, but it was all sent from the Lord. Now brothers want to dream up, some, you know what I mean, some wild stuff. Man, I had some dreams before. You know what I mean? I had a dream that I held on. Some brothers have dreamed with women, and start trying to hold on to that and everything. You know what I mean? It's vain, man. Watch, read it.
Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow.
Pull this real quick. Pull this Ecclesiastes 40:1. Read it.
Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind.
Listen, you regard dreams, but it's like you chasing after the wind. But it's like you try, grab a shadow. It's not, it's not real. It's not there. There's no substance, you know what I mean, to hold on to it or whatever. So it's not, you can't even make that come into existence, what people say. They dream this stuff, they think about this stuff, and they say, talk about it into, just stupid stuff. Man, they say anything. Read this again.
Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind. The vision of dreams is like resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face.
Even the likeness as to a face-to-face. As what this brother has said, Geno Jennings, you can send in your dream. You know what I mean? It may seem like it because it seems real. It's like face-to-face. It's like you having real conversation in real time and everything, but then you wake up and it's all nothing. Watch. Pull this real quick, 40.
Ecclesiasticus 40:1, great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam from the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Hold on, man. You got to read one again. I got distracted.
Great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam from the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Listen, great travail, man. You know what I mean? It's for all men. It don't matter who you are, if you're a Jew or a Gentile, if you're a so-called black man, so-called white man, Arab, African, Chinaman, or whatever, so it don't matter. Great travail, you know what I mean, is made for all men. If you're a son of Adam, great travail is made for you. You know what I mean? And we're going to keep going through this until we die, until we return to the mother of all things, being the earth, because we come from the earth. But don't act like that this life's supposed to be all peaches and cream, you know what I mean, all nice and candy and dandy and stuff and everything. This is, you know what I mean, we got hardships in our life. That's what Paul's talking about, glory. He said, man, I'm a glory, seeing that many glory in the flesh, I'm a glory too. I'm a glory in my infirmities, in my weakness, and how the Lord manifested his strength through, through that. Watch, read it.
Their imagination of things to come in the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
You know what I mean? Listen, man, the day of death, the things to come and everything, you know what I mean? The mind is, hot. My mother asked me in the car a couple of days ago and everything, what am I thinking about? Or, you know what I mean? My mind and everything. I said, listen, man, it's never a dull moment, never a dull thought. Always thinking about something. Always thinking about something, either if it's trials or, some type of joy or whatever so, or, things to come or the day of death or whatever it is, things happen in life, I'm always thinking about something. When I stop thinking about something, that is going to be a problem. I keep thinking, but do everybody think? I would like to think so. How about this? Do everybody think righteously? You know what I mean? It's good or evil. Everybody, how about this? Everybody, think about some type of good and some evil. But most people, a lot of people choose the bad. Watch, read this real quick. Read it.
Their imagination of things to come and the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
You know what I mean? Make you afraid. Like, yo, man, if I don't pay this or this, that, this gonna happen, or I might lose this, or my woman might walk out on me, or these things, you know what I mean? I might lose this stuff. It causes trouble or heart, make you fear. Start thinking these stuff and everything. Watch, read it. But that's common. Read it.
From him that sitteth on a throne of glory unto him.
Listen, but it don't matter. You know what I mean? As we talk about to him that sit on a throne of glory. Pull this real quick. 18. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 18. Hold that. From him that sitteth on the throne of glory. Who this talking about? Yeah, all you noble people, you know what I mean? The people that's famous. And that's what we try and get into, you know what I mean? About famous men. Famous women. We're going to talk about people that like to be talked about in the earth, that want to be exalted in the earth. Pull this.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 18. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also.
You know what I mean? The topic is about glory. He said, even, even these things happen, troublous thoughts, things that come the day of death and everything, man, that runs through the mind of him that sit on the throne of glory, a king or the president. You think these thoughts, what I mean, think Trump think about death sometime? You think Putin and them, or, what I mean, these kings and everything, think they think about these stuff and everything? From him that sit on the throne of glory. Watch, read it.
From him that sitteth on a throne of glory, unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes.
From him that's in the president to the to the homeless man, man. Or the man that, that don't got much. We all thinking about the same stuff, things to come in the day of death, dreams or whatever. So watch, read it.
From him that weareth purple and a crown, unto him that is clothed with a linen frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife. And in the time of rest upon his bed, his night's sleep do change his knowledge.
All this stuff change your knowledge. You may in one mindset one day had a real bad event, life changed, change your whole mindset. Or maybe you had a dream. Guys have dreams and everything, and they change their whole mindset and chase after that dream. Brothers, Watch, read it.
Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of battle. When all is safe, he awaketh and marveleth that the fear was nothing.
This happen all the time. You have some dreams or some nightmare or whatever, so, you may be in a fight, or, things happen, man, I had, the same dream over and over as a child. I was falling down the stairs. As soon as I get to the bottom, I wake up. I was like, oh, this thing is crazy. Guys, getting stabbed. I had a dream about my little brother right here stabbing me. I woke up bawling tears, my wife and everything. But, but it's a dream. It's nothing. It's a fear, it's nothing. Watch, read it.
When all is safe, he awaketh and marveleth that the fear was nothing. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners.
This happened, to everybody, man. No matter who you are, sitting in a crown, and seat of honor, or maybe you humble yourself in ashes or whatever. So, if you're a beast, you're a dog. If you're a dog, these things happen. You have dreams, but it's 7 times more fallen into the sinner. Sinner have these crazy nightmares and everything. Can't get away from this stuff. 7 times more. Go back to the line upon line, read 18. Give me Ecclesiastes 44. We're going to break out another line upon line to go with this. 2 Corinthians 11, read 18 again.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 18. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also.
Seeing many glory after the flesh, I'm a glory also. Paul said that he going to glory too. We're going to talk about glory. Give me this Psalm 74 and 5 over here. Read this. Ecclesiastes 44 and 1.
Ecclesiasticus 44 and 1. Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us.
Let us now praise famous men. Who famous? Let us now praise famous men and the fathers that begat us. You know what I mean? Who famous today? Bible said, let us... Bible said, let us praise famous men. Who's a famous man today? There's plenty of them. Name one, bro. Okay, LeBron and stuff. Okay, okay. Okay, now. We're going to read this verse again. Read this.
Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begot us. The Lord.
Let us praise famous men and the fathers that begat us. The famous men that this verse is talking about, all the famous men in the Bible. But we're going to bring out some some verses and everything, how brothers in the earth who didn't get famous according to righteousness, but they rose up according to their evil. You know, because this is all talk about glory. Paul says, seeing many glory after the flesh. People glory after the flesh. Men glory after the flesh. Women glory after the flesh. We're going to praise famous men, but we're not going to praise wicked men. Me and my father was talking about this word, famous and infamous, or infamous. And it means, you know, there's a lot of people that's infamous. They are known or popular or honored or glorified for the wrong stuff, for the wickedness, while famous is the opposite. You know, we're going to praise famous men according to the Bible, not no wicked men. You want, pull this real quick, 74 and 5.
Psalm chapter 74, verse 5. A man was famous according as he had lift up axes upon the thick trees.
A man was famous according as how he lifted up axes as he cut down trees. Man was famous according to that. What is man famous for now today? Brothers is famous now for a movie role, or maybe they know how to sing a song or play an instrument, or know how to play a sport very well. Education. You know what I mean? Some men get famous, you know. Why is LeBron famous? Exactly what he said and everything, you know, because of basketball. Brother, you know what I mean, rose up because of basketball. He got famous because of basketball. Brothers is not famous, you know, for no righteousness. They want to be honored for some carnal stuff, some vanity. They glory according to the flesh. They want to be talked about as the best basketball player or the best singer, the best fighter, or you know what I mean, the smartest guy in the earth because I read 1,000 books or I study this or maybe I go to this school. Brothers, you know what I mean? How about sisters? Sisters is famous for the same stuff too. Instruments, music, acting, or whatever. So men and women get famous for taking off their clothes. You know what I mean? For whoredom or whatever. So they get famous. Man was you know what I mean, was famous as according as how we. But now brothers and sisters not famous according to that. They famous for some wickedness. We're gonna praise famous men. We're gonna bring out some examples. Give me this 1 Corinthians 1:26. Read down over here, read 1 and read down.
Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. The Lord hath wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning.
You know what I mean? Listen, man, the Lord hath wrought great glory by them. Talking about the brothers and sisters in the Bible. Moses, David, Ezekiel, Daniel, Judas Maccabeus, Joshua, Peter, Paul, Christ, you know, all these brothers and everything. The Lord hath wrought great glory by these brothers, man. Nehemiah, Samson, all these are famous men according to the Bible, still talked about today. They make movies and cartoon shows, cartoon drawings and stuff, posters or whatever. So they copy it out of the Bible. Give me this, 1 Corinthians 1:26. Read this over here. Man, the Lord hath wrought great glory by these brothers.
Ecclesiasticus 44:3. Such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies.
Listen, men renowned for their counsels, man. They are renowned. Renowned mean, you know what I mean, you are famous. You know, you're honored or, you know, glorified in the earth and whatever. So we're going to bring out some examples. You give me this, give me Genesis 6 and 5. That's one. And also hold that number 16. Read this over here.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
Listen, not many noble are called. Brother brought up, you know what I mean, LeBron James and everything. You put LeBron James on the spot and you want to talk about life events or maybe his people's situation in current estate, you know, and everything. He can't talk. A lady already told him, shut up and dribble a ball already, because he want to be glorified for basketball. He can't speak on this stuff. He's not called to do this stuff. The Lord, you know what I mean, they didn't call everybody. He's not choosing everybody. You know what I mean? You can't find these people that want to be famous and honored in the earth speak the Bible in truth and righteousness. Watch, read it.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen. Yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence.
No flesh supposed to glory in his presence. You got people, you know what I mean, boasting, got nothing. They, you know, bragging about their money. They bragging about their cars. They bragging about their children. They bragging about their woman. They brag, you know what I mean, about their job and stuff, man. They bragging about this stuff and everything. They glory according to the flesh. Seeing many glory after the flesh, we gonna glory. We gonna glory too, but we gonna glory in our weakness and our infirmities. You know what I mean? Because this is how the Most High is, you know what I mean, what is it? Strength made perfect or something like that? Yeah. Pulled up.
1 Corinthians chapter
8:12. Oh, go to 8. Yeah.
1 Corinthians 8 and 12. You said first or second?
Or is it Philippians? It's yours? Where is that? Oh yeah, no. It's 2 Corinthians 12 real quick. I think it's 12. Right there, 9.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may be rest upon me.
I mean, we gonna glory according to our infirmities, man. We ain't glorying according to something in the earth that God has now talked about, but it's not for the right stuff. It's not because of the Lord. You know what I mean? You know, brother had mentioned about our brothers is going to these podcasts and interviews and stuff and everything, and they want to be honored. Talking about these Israelites, these camps. IUIC was just out here. You know, the elder over there, name is Nathaniel 7, Nate. He want to be lifted up because of what he did last year, in my opinion. You know, he want to be on the show with Jason Whitlock. After that, Pastor Dow was up there and everything. He went up there and everything. Now there's open all this door for now. All this garbage was going on now today. Now brothers want to be on podcasts with Cooley and having debates. You know, with Whack 100. Whack 100 and Hazariak, they get into a heated discussion this past week and everything. Brothers want to go all these, you know, interview these popular podcasts and everything just to launch themselves. They want to be glorified for that. It started with Nate and Jason, you know what I mean, like a whole, right, exactly. Because of the Kyrie thing and Kanye. Started with Nate and them, going with Jason Whitlock. Now brothers want to chase the podcast and the radio, you know, stuff and everything to be glorified in the earth. They glory after the flesh. Now, you make friends with people who, you know what I mean, and now you surprised because he flipped up on you. He was never considered a friend. Whack 100. And what type of name is that? Whack 100. That's whack. You know, Whack 100, you know, it's but now you sit up there with Whack 100, you know, and you try to correct it. He try to correct you. He's very aggressive and stuff. Now he start getting disrespectful. Start trashing the Bible a little bit, trash your camp or whatever so and everything because you chasing that spotlight. You up there with God Logic, Alizar with Gorilla Hebrew, with Dr. Brown, and all these brothers want to be talked about and glorified in the earth. That's, you know what I mean? Brothers want to be men of renown. We had brothers like that back then. Go over here. You give me the 6 and 4 first, and then that number 16.
Genesis 6 and 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of the Most High came in unto the daughters of men, they bare children to them, and the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
Men of renown, man. Go to number 16. Men of renown. We had this going back to the beginning. Let us now praise famous men, not these men right here. You know what I mean? The Lord, I wrote great glory by them from the beginning. We just gonna bring out another example over here. This is in the time of Moses. Read it.
Top. Numbers 16 and 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and on the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown.
Men of renown. Now, there's a whole nother set of brothers right here. Men of renown, famous men, according to the earth, because he did something in the earth, and now people want to talk about him. They say, oh, shoot, he chopped them up in this interview. He chopped them up in this debate. He chopped them up and everything, this, that, and everything, and now he's talking about, he's glorified, he's honored in the earth and everything. We had men just like that back then. They had did something, or maybe they, fought a good battle or whatever, and now people want to talk about him. Oh, shoot, it's nothing like him, or maybe you're a good dude or whatever. We had men just like that. We had 3 brothers grab the whole band, want to go up against Moses. Moses was selected by the Most High Power, to give the oracles to the nation of people. Well, these men, right here got envious, because the Lord wrought great glory by Moses. He split the Red Sea. He crashed Egypt. And stuff and everything. And now these brothers think that Moses is lifting up himself over the congregation. Watch, read it.
And they gathered themselves, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them.
Listen, all the prophets. This is what he's saying in some other words, man. They all holy. You take too much upon yourself, saying all the people holy. Everybody holy. Just seen this woman, commit adultery. You see the brother just still, just beat his brother up. Or, he got a little child molester and stuff and everything. He said, seeing everybody holy. Watch, evil brothers. Read it.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord.
Listen, and some brothers think that because a righteous brother is standing up for the Lord, and then the Lord exalted him through righteousness, that he himself is lifting up himself over the congregation. But it's the Lord that's doing it. When you humble yourself, the Lord going to exalt you. Scripture says that. Wisdom exalted her children, not according to wickedness, not according to something in the earth. Watch, read it.
And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him.
There we go.
This do, take you censers.
Stop right there. Drop that. You give me this. Give me this. First Maccabees. No, go back to 44 and 1. Go. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 44 and 1. Read this.
Ecclesiasticus, right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
Listen, man, the greater you are, you got to humble yourself, bro. If you see yourself, you increasing, I don't know, financially or whatever, so it don't matter, or maybe you rose up to a bigger position, whereas though that now you're in a supervisor position now, or the owner or the boss or whatever. So the greater they are, you got to humble yourself more. The more power, there's this thing that I saw years ago, this show, this guy I said thing and whatever about men. It's kind of true. Men, I'm paraphrasing, but these things may corrupt man, power, money, woman and stuff and everything. Brothers, get in some position because they the owner. I'm going to just talk to anybody, any type of way. I'm going to just treat them any type of way. They start doing little slick stuff and nobody could call them out because he the boss. I do what I want. This my company. The greater they are, listen, that's why it's so special about Christ's teachings. Christ, I give us an example. He's the master. He the Lord. He the king. Brother gave us an example. Wash his foot. His feet. Yeah, the servant got, the master got to be just like the servant. You got to humble yourself. The greater thou art, humble thyself. Watch. And watch you be more beloved of the one that is approved. Watch, read it. Oh, he does? No, nobody worry about Pastor Dow. He won, Hebrew Man of the Hebrew Man of the Year award, which is no such thing in the Bible. This brother won the Hebrew Man of the Year award. I don't know, some brother who's an Israelite too. I think he made some type of book. I forgot. Matter of fact, the book that made the guy that made from Hebrews to Negroes, I think, or whatever. Yeah, he had some type of ceremony, type of junk dow up there. Hebrew Man of the Year, Lord. Had a whole clip. It's on YouTube. Homeboy had escorts, dressed up, had his little glasses, had his little security, walking like he about to, Hebrew Man of the Year award, man. Want to be glorified across to the earth. There ain't, just like there ain't no Archangel award. There's none of that, man. What's going on? Read this.
We go from top. Ecclesiasticus 44 and 1.
Hold on. Read this. What you got?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 18. Many are in high place and renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly.
He's honored of the lowly. Listen. The Lord is honored of the lowly. Read it.
Seek
The
not,
lowly's gonna praise the Lord. They're gonna worship the Lord in truth and sincerity. The brothers that want to be highly exalted, you're gonna do something, to cross the Lord. You chasing after riches and money and everything. You're not gonna be innocent. Proverbs said it. Watch, read it.
seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. 22. I did. Verse 19. This is verse 19. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek.
Listen, many are in high places and are renowned. There's a lot of, brothers that is renowned, talked about the earth. They like to say that they talk about Michael Jackson all over the earth. That's true?
Some people they say he's well, I put it this way, they say he's an icon, but my opinion is this: he's an icon compared to God.
Exactly. That's true. You know what I mean? There's many potentates, great men, famous men, renowned men, and everything. Yet they not greater than he that fear the Lord, man. That's true. You know what I mean? You got brothers, travel all over the world to sing some wickedness. You know what I mean? To sing some wickedness. And stuff. Brothers traveling to a whole other country overseas to play basketball. And stuff and everything. And they, talked about, oh, shoot, Dwight Howard got, got the Chinaman over there praising Dwight Howard. He looked crazy over there. These brothers want to be talked about all over the earth. They crying the blues for Rihanna, Beyonce. You know what I mean, man? They go all over the earth and call themselves performing, going on tour. And then they want to be talked about, glorified. We got to praise famous men, but the fathers that begat us, these righteous men that's in the Bible. Go back to 44, read this.
Verse 21. 20. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly.
You know what I mean? The Lord is honored of the lowly, man. Drop that. Go to 1 Chronicles 17. We're gonna tap into this a little bit. Read this. No. I'm sorry. Give me Give me 1 Maccabees 2. Read this.
Ecclesiasticus 44 and 3. Such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies.
You know what I mean? Listen, these men were famous for declaring prophecies because they called the shots through the Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? They was, had some wise counsel. Now brothers want to talk about some, Eddie Griffin and them is giving wise counsel. He's a comedian. They said Cat Million was a prophet. They said,
I mean, cut you off. They got no clue to being, when it comes to being humble, they got no clue for that.
that's true. Cat Williams a gossiper. That's all he do. He spill beans like a female. I really want to use another word, but but the whole point is what I mean? These brothers is try to get famous and for some wickedness. Watch, read it.
Leaders of the people, by their counsels, and by their knowledge of learning, meet for the people, wise and eloquent in their instructions, such as found out musical tunes and rejected verses in writing.
Listen, such as found out musical tunes. You give me this Isaiah 5 real quick. Give me this First Maccabees 2 real quick. 251. 250, man. You know what I mean? These brothers, you know what I mean, wrote down consoles. They got instructions. They got beautiful stuff and everything. David, Psalms alone. 150 Psalms. Which is prayers and songs and stuff and everything. Nobody's singing these Psalms. They try to make up their own little lyrics, their own little songs, and want to be lifted up and glorified in the earth for that. They want to talk about, man, I got my own style, I got my own thing, got my own groove going on. While they try to pump some wickedness. They singing, rapping about wickedness. Talking about robbing and, sleeping with each other's women. Woman glorifying whoredom and prostitution. Get your money. Get that bag and stuff and everything. Open up your, but these famous men right here, they found out musical tunes. Watch, we got to bring out a couple examples. Yo, give me Isaiah 5. Over here, read this. 51.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 51. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
You got to remember this stuff, man. You got people talking about it, There's tons of people. They not talking about Abraham. They not talking about Joseph. They ain't talking about, these stuff and everything. They are, they having brothers and sisters get into full-blown and heated discussions and arguments, beefing because we talk about their idol. Brother, I said something about a brother getting Kobe tattooed on the earth. These brothers want to be glorified. Kobe wanted to be glorified for basketball. That's all he cared about. He died because because he was on a plane, right? Going to a what? Basketball game? For basketball. Brother want to be talked about because of basketball. So much that brothers glorify him and get his face tatted on him. I want to be like Mamba. Listen, the Lord has said, let us now praise famous men. For the Lord, had wrought great glory by them. During the 70s and the 60s and the 80s, who was glorified and talked about the most probably amongst our people? Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson and them or whatever, Ike or, Ali, yeah, whatever, man. I'm not that old. I'm born in the 90s. But, these people.
I seen it all, man.
That's why I'm asking you, They should get.
They had marijuana and all this stuff. That was more stronger then. Back in the 80s and the 60s and 70s, I seen that's when they had the hippies and
Right, exactly. Matter of fact, we was just talking about that. Brothers want to be glorified, for these drugs and everything. Now they glorify, they call themselves Al Pacino or Scarface. I want to be like this. I want to be, this and that. Brothers want to be glorified to be the biggest, who's that? Tootsie? Crip or Blood, whatever he is. Brothers want to be glorified for being a gang member. Being, to be the baddest, I had a brother in the tray over here, Orchard and Elm. Brother walking in full-blown blood. He had his flag out. He walking like he the biggest, baddest thing. Like, don't mess, Brothers want to be glorified for some wickedness, man. Read this. Who had it? Right here. Read it.
First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 52. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation? In temptation. And it was imputed unto him for righteousness.
Because his intentions or his intent, was right. Because he stayed faithful to the Lord. And for that, he had an everlasting covenant. The Bible talks heavy about Abraham. He's highly exalted. These are the men that we got, praise and talk about. We ain't gonna be talking about the men that's lifted up today. Watch, read it. Or trying to honor them, glorify them.
Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made the Lord of Egypt. Phineas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood.
Listen, man, the brother is reading down certain names, famous men that were righteous in the Bible. They ain't talking about this stuff. Watch, read it.
Joshua for fulfilling the word and was made a judge in Israel. Caleb for bearing witness. Before the congregation received the heritage of the land. David for being merciful possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom.
David, Cake David. One of the hottest brothers in the Bible. Watch, read it.
Elijah, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flame.
Listen, the Lord wrought great glory by these brothers. The Lord manifested his power through these brothers in their weakness, man. And we gonna glorify in our infirmities. When things get rough and tough in us and the Lord pulled us through, we gonna glorify in that. We ain't gonna be glorified for something in the earth that God has talked about more than they talk about the Lord now. Watch, read it.
Daniel, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Excuse me. This is verse 60. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
None, listen, consider in all ages. You gotta check the history of the Bible. None, you know what I mean? You gotta consider this stuff in all ages. No matter if it was time of Abraham, Moses, David, Judas Maccabeus, Paul, Christ, and everything, all ages. None that put their trust in the Lord, you know what I mean, was played, was confounded, or was cast down. The Lord delivered these brothers. Now we in a new age. What makes you think that the Lord can't do the same thing for us? You gotta have some type of trust and faith. Watch, read it. We gotta do like how these brothers do it. You know how I did. Watch, read it.
Verse 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms.
Don't fear the words of a sinful man. Sinful men. You know what I mean? I know a lot of brothers and sisters don't like us preaching, you know, this stuff and everything because we call out sinful men. We just named a couple sinful men. Nate, Johanna, and everything. You know, Johanna wanted to be glorified. All over, you know what I mean? He's moving himself into the hierarchy, which is crazy. Brother want to be glorified in the earth. He ain't no famous man, according to righteousness. Read it. Again.
This is verse 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms.
His glory, this is the topic. Seeing many glory after the flesh, we gonna glory too, you know what I mean? But the sinful man glory, because his glory may be in the earth. We just read it, you know what I mean? Some people glory in money or whatever. They glory in animals or whatever. So, you know, clothes. They said Alazar, you know, gloried in his hats. He had a hat collection, you know, and stuff. Which kind of makes sense of why he made up some false doctrine about Paul, talking about Paul ain't know what he was talking about. That's why he don't subscribe to his scriptures that's about the head cover and stuff and everything, because he like hats. He want to be glorified for apparel, for clothing. You know what I mean? Talked about for his hat collection. People get glorified because of their shoe collection. Watch, read it.
63. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found.
Today the sinful man is lifted up. Read that verse again.
Today he shall be lifted up. Verse 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing.
Listen, that's who's lifted up today. You go on YouTube or you see on Google or Facebook or whatever, Twitter, whatever it is. The sinful man is lifted. The sinful woman is lifted. That's who's lifted up today. The sinful man is lifted today, but tomorrow he's not going to be found. All of his glory going to be dung and worm. What he glorified, what she glorified in the earth is going to be dung. That's why, you know what I mean, you got glory in the Lord. That's why you got glory in the Lord. You got to set the Lord as your glory. Brothers want to glorify in their strength and become fragile. Brothers want to glorify in their intelligence and become dumb. That's what that, you know what I mean? That's what happens. Watch. Brothers want to glorify in their riches. They brag, but now they broke. That's what it is. They want to glorify for some whoredom. Now you got some disease. Or maybe you got a whole bunch of, you know, children that you can't control, or maybe that you really didn't want. Because you glorify some sinful life. The sinful man is lifted up today. Read that verse again, 63.
Verse 63. Today he shall be lifted up. 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing.
No, listen, that's who's lifted up today, the sinful man. But tomorrow he ain't going to be talked about. They ain't going to be talking about LeBron in the kingdom. They ain't going to be talking about, oh, shoot, he passed 40K, man, he almost had this and that. They ain't going to be talking about Chris Brown and Aaron Pierre and Rihanna and Beyonce and all these, you know, people that want to be famous according to the earth, that want to be renowned in the earth. Read this over here. What you holding 5? No, sir. Dang. 5:14. Yeah, let's go to 13. Read it. Brother, I said, they wrote writings, and verses and stuff and everything. Found out musical tunes. I want to kind of break into that and everything. How people glorify, read it.
Isaiah 5 and 13. Therefore, my people are going into captivity because they have no knowledge. Isaiah 5:11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning. Early in the morning, you got your pipe or whatever you call it. You got your little cup, you got your little sip. You started real early. Matter of fact, people come near you and say, ain't it too early for that? You got your little liquor right here and stuff and everything.
Are you too early for that?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Too early, you know what I mean? Listen, man, he said, woe. You know what woe means? Mean affliction, problems, tribulation, because you just want to be dizzy all day. Watch, read it. Watch, read it.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
Read it.
And the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe, and wine are in their feasts. But they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his hands.
Listen, all this stuff is in their face. You seen in the church and stuff and everything that they got wine, they got liquor in these camps at these feasts and stuff and everything. They got, bottle girls. They got, they got the music, they got the instruments, they got the harps, the pipes and stuff and everything. People want to be glorified in the earth. They talked about, famous men that play the piano, play the guitar and stuff and everything. These are people that's talked about all over the earth. What? But watch, drop down to 14.
Isaiah 5:14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. And their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
Hell have enlarged itself. Go to 2 Chronicles 17 real quick. And also hold this first Esdras 1:15. Read this over here. He said, all their glory, they palm, all that stuff that you glorified in earth and everything is all going to descend into hell, man. It's all going to be burned up. Watch, read it. And you give me this, Ecclesiastes 39:1.
2 Chronicles 17. 2 Chronicles 17 and 7. Also, in the 3rd year of his reign, he sent to his princes, even to Ben-Hail, and to Obadiah, and to Zechariah.
Over here, read this real quick.
Ecclesiastes chapter 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies.
This is what he's going to occupy himself with, man. Not with vanity. Read it.
He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also.
What renowned men? What? The renowned men that's in the earth? He going to think about Morgan Freeman or Washington or, homeboy. Yeah, you know what I mean? You gotta think about his words. Nah, all the renowned men that's in the Bible. You gotta think about the words of David. You gotta think about what Christ said, first and foremost. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, over that the old word, because the word of the Lord. That's the word of the Lord. You gotta think about the word. Read this. Yes, drop that. Give me this Psalms 49 real quick.
1 Chronicles 17:7. Now therefore thus shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, even from following the sheep, that thou shouldest be ruler over my people Israel. And I have been with thee whithersoever thou hast walked, and have cut off all thine enemies from before thee, and have made thee a name like the name of the great men that are in the earth.
This is what the Lord I said that he had did for David. You give me this first, I'll give you this one real quick. That's what the Lord said that he did for David. He said, man, I cut off all thy enemies, I set you up and everything. Man, you was keeping sheep, pulled you from that and everything. I gave you a throne and came out, and made all your enemies, and then I made you a name. This is what the Lord said he did for David. David didn't go out there and try to make a name for himself. The Lord made a name for him. He exalted David. Whereas though now we talk about David today because of what the Lord had did for David. It's not because of what he did, but here's the next person in this earth that I want to be lifted up. Read one and then we're going to drop down.
First Maccabees 1:1, and it happened after that Alexander the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chedum, had smitten Darius, king of Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
So now, we just read about David and stuff. People talk about David and earth sometime and whatever. People talk about Alexander the Greek. Too. This, he's in the Bible right here too. He had a quick little 12-year reign. He died early, but he was exalted in the earth because he was some type of, conqueror and everything. They said that he walked around with some type of fur on his back, some big cat, whatever. So, man, I was just at a house yesterday. It's crazy. Esau, man, he a cunning hunter. He got a whole room, his whole house filled with all dead animals that he hunted and killed. Stuffed them and everything. Had a whole elephant head. He got a lion. I took pictures. He had a monkey and this, that, and everything, brother. You know what I mean? People glorifying the animals. You know what I mean? The dogs and stuff and everything. You know what I mean? People glorifying dogs. Everywhere I go on the job, man, his dog's always near me. But they glorified an animal. This is what the Lord has said about the animal. Watch, read this real quick. Psalm 49, verse 16.
Psalm chapter 49, verse 16. 49 and 16. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased.
When the glory, So now this is what happens when a brother ain't got none but got something. He rose up to some type of increase and everything, and the Lord telling us who don't got it like that, don't be afraid when one is increased and his glory is increased. Now you see him talking about, he popping up on TV. You see her on TV now. She's singing live. He rapping. He doing all these things and everything. He talked about in earth. Everybody talk about him now. Don't be afraid because he's lifted up. Sinful man is lifted up today. Tomorrow he's not going to be lifted up. Watch, read it.
But the Most High will redeem, this is verse 17. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though whilst he lived, he blessed his soul. And men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself.
While he lived, he blessed his soul. He had did good for himself. He bought him though, things. He never gave. He never gave. He wasted a lot of stuff. How about that? Man, I was just trying to tell my children that don't waste food. You wasted money, or you could give it to somebody. Don't just waste food. Read it.
He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beast that perish.
As I brought up about the beast, he killing the animal and everything. All these rich men that's killing these beasts is no better than the beast that they kill. Men that is in honor, but understandeth not. Beasts don't understand. Horse, dogs, cats, whatever it is, they have no understanding, no clue of what's righteous or what's wise. So they have no understanding. Men that is in honor, that's talked about, glorified in the earth, better than the beasts that perish. Because you want to be glorified in the earth according to righteousness. Because while you was in the earth, man, you blessed yourself and people talked about you. You never gave it up to the Lord. Talking about, this is all to the Lord. And then say if you did say it verbally, you didn't commit your life to it. You gave a bad example of how you got that money. Through wickedness. And now you want to be glorified in the earth. Seeing many glorified after the flesh, we got glory too, but not according to wickedness. We're going to glory in our infirmities, man. We're going to talk about the famous men in the Bible that had infirmities, and the Lord got them through these trials and tribulations. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to glory in the Lord. He that glory, let him glory in the Lord. paraphrasing, that he understandeth me. You got to glory in the Lord and not in the earth or in men. And with that, brothers united in Christ, shalom.